Hello, scholars. Welcome to yet another week of expanded learning activities. So, I know you've been amazing. You've been doing an amazing job for the last couple of weeks, and I really do want to take a minute to acknowledge you guys because the work has been exceptional for those who have been turning it in, and for those who haven't, you still have a chance to do so. Okay, so today we're going to take a little bit of time to focus on something less academic based, but more social based. So take a minute and look at this video.
Rosevine Public School presents a special news report on Netiquette.
Brought to you by the students of Mr. Solomon's fourth grade class.
Hi, I'm Priya Gill, and this is my classmate and co-host, Anthony Ferreira.
And we are here to bring you a special news report on Netiquette.
Throughout our newscast, we'll be talking to the students of Rosevine Public School, and later on, we'll be hearing from some experts on cyberbullying.
So, why are we doing this?
You can thank our teacher, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, viewers, after giving several exciting lessons on Netiquette, Mr. Solomon wanted to see how much of what he said actually stayed in our brains.
And instead of answering the usual quiz, he asked us to do a newscast.
Exciting stuff. Now let's get to it.
Let's find out what our class correspondents, Emma, Gavin, and Grace, found out when they hit the hallways, mics in hand, and asked the students of Rosevine Public School these questions.
First, our correspondent Emma asked, "What is Netiquette?"
I think netiquette is a set of rules to properly behave on the internet.
It's made up of two words, net and etiquette, and it's a set of rules for nice behavior online.
Well, I think netiquette is having good manners online and treating others online as you would treat them in real life.
Then Gavin asked, what are some examples of netiquette?
Some examples of netiquette are respecting other people's privacy and remembering that when you post something online, it can go everywhere.
Well, I think an example of netiquette is if something's meant to be funny, then you could put a little smiley to show that you're joking.
Some examples of netiquette are if you get a bad text message or email, don't respond to the person electronically. Go to the person on your own in real life because what the person said might not be intended what he or she meant to say.
Then Grace asked, "What examples of lack of netiquette do you see online with your friends?"
Some examples of lack of netiquette that I see online are people who say really rude words online, except words that they wouldn't say in real life.
I do not see netiquette when I'm talking to my friends online, but when I'm talking to my grandparents online, I do see netiquette.
Well, sometimes people don't use netiquette and they put their words in capital letters as if they're yelling.
Nice work, correspondents. Priya, how about we recap and add some more info?
Good idea. Netiquette is made up of two words.
Internet, etiquette.
What's the internet? That's a no-brainer.
But what does etiquette mean?
Etiquette is a set of rules for everybody on how to behave properly.
You know, like not calling people names, or being polite, like saying please and thank you.
Etiquette is basically treating people how you'd like to be treated, with RESPECT, respect.
Well put.
Thank you. When you smush internet and etiquette together, you get netiquette.
Netiquette is a set of rules for everybody on how to behave properly, online.
We know who wants more rules.
But netiquette rules can help you make the time you spend online fun and safe.
And we all like to have fun.
And we all have the right to be safe.
So you see, netiquette is a win-win situation.
Okay, what are some examples of netiquette?
Netiquette. Well, I'd never do this in real life. Meet me after school! When you write in all capital letters in emails, on discussion boards, or while messaging, the person reading your message may think you're yelling at them. Why would I do it online? Yelling is just rude. Don't you think, Priya? Oh, I can see by the emoticons you're holding that you're surprised and mad.
Yes, we are talking about netiquette today. I know you got a definition from the video earlier, which is pretty much saying it's the correct way or the correct usage or most appropriate usage of the internet. Safe and appropriate usage of the internet. Safe is important because we always need to be safe. And what netiquette is, the word is derived from two separate words. It's internet and etiquette. Together you have netiquette. I know most of you may be wondering, why are we talking about this? Why do we need to know this? Because we're all in 5th grade, so we knew about this a long time ago. I just have to bring a reminder, because now that we've moved to the online, solely online, we need to do a refresher on that. So in the case of how we use it, that's something that is quite important to us, and this is what I really need to stress for you guys. We cannot have a situation happening online where we're talking back to each other in a negative tone or a negative demeanor. We cannot have that happening. We have to consider each other's feelings, as you saw in the video. So with that being said, I'm going to just give you a glance at a few perspectives or a few things that we need to work on. I'm going to give you a glance at what netiquette pretty much looks like. First point is we have to be respectful. I know you may be like, yeah, we know we have to be respectful, but do we have to be doing that online too? Yes, respect goes all across the board. We cannot be yelling at each other in caps or using inappropriate language online to each other. That is unacceptable. And a few of you may even know that that's a form of bullying, and we don't do bullying, right? We're not for that. We're anti-bullying. So remember, we're trying to keep the environment safe. We cannot do that. So we need to be respectful. I know a few of you have mentioned that you want to become YouTubers and famous gamers and all that. And in all that, we will all need to practice our language online. We cannot be using exclamations out of turn. We cannot be using caps on out of turn, because if we use all caps out of turn, that's like shouting. So it's like me yelling at you and saying like, you need to get this done now, pretty much. And that's not what we're trying to do online. Remember, the internet, we're trying to make it a safe place for all of us to interact and get work done, and also have some form of fun, safe fun, and we need to make sure that it's edifying to everything that we're doing. So I know some of you will also see pranks. We also need to be mindful of our humor and sarcasm. Yes, we see a lot of funny pranks online, but what's the one thing that I've been asking you guys that we need to make sure we're doing? Keeping it safe. So we need to be respectful, bear in mind of all the caps or exclamation signs or punctuation. We need to pay attention to that as well. And we also need to make sure that once again, we're keeping it safe. So with that being said, there are a few other things that we still need to bear in mind. Always check yourselves. If you don't want to do it, if you cannot say it, or if saying it makes you feel uncomfortable, then don't say it online. Pretty much. If you don't want to hear it, don't say it. We're not trying to abuse each other verbally, because words, I know you've heard sticks and stones may break my bone, but words can't harm me. Words actually does hurt, and I'm sure we've experienced this a lot. So we need to be mindful in how we conduct ourselves online. In our Google Classroom, we need to make sure we're using the appropriate languages or language in our Google Classroom. I know at times it's frustrating. I know you're at home, locked in the house most of it, and as the TikTok video says, bored in the house because you're in the house bored, right? So I know that, but we also have to be mindful, be respectful to each other. As your teacher, I have to be respectful. I have to be respectful to everybody I come into in everybody I interact with. Get it together, Mr. Henry. I have to bear all of that in mind. And I've always heard, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And we're not trying to make that environment. What we're doing is trying to make sure that it's safe. We can come on here, get our learning done, and once we've taken care of that, we can have a little fun, clean fun. We don't want to be using the internet for wrong purposes, because we know it's a big platform, it's a wide platform, a wide cyber community. But we also have to be mindful, because there are hackers online, there are a lot of scams online, and if you are not careful, you can fall into that. And because we always practice what's safe and equitastic, and we're always on task, this is what we have to do, guys. Pay attention to what we're doing. Be mindful of what we're doing, because that helps us. It takes us a far way. Okay, so we are sending a little bit more emails, or we've more been utilizing our emails now that we're online. So what we need to do, because there's still email etiquette, we need to bear those in mind. Never forget them, because once again, they're important. So we need to be concise or summarize, be able to summarize, make sure that our subjects are in line with our message, and our overall email is short, to the point, and not going around the place. Also, we need to refrain from typing in all caps, because once again, when you're typing in all caps, it means you're shouting. So you would not want to be sending an email shouting. That's not what we're trying to do, right? When we're literally just asking for some extension and an assignment, or for clarity. We're not shouting. We don't shout to mom and dad. We cannot shout at school. We don't shout to our teachers. Shouting, nah, not cool. We leave that alone. All right? Leave that alone. We also need to make sure that it's safe. Once again, we're back with this S word, safe, because our aim is to always be safe interacting online, and we want to avoid using sites or going to websites that are not appropriate. We don't want that, so let's not do that. So if we're responding to our peers, we do that, yet still it can be a little less formal but respectful at the same time. So that chat box or that section of the Google Classroom, it's fine, you can talk there. I'm okay with that, but let's be respectful in how we do it, because we don't want to be out of turns, and our parents did not teach us that, to be out of turn, and we don't want them to be hearing that, because I mean, we're not in school. Technically, physically, we're not in school. It's online, so let's not be giving parents should not be getting phone calls about negative attitudes or negative behaviors. Let's up that. I'm gonna challenge you to make sure that we're on top of our games. If we need help, we ask for help when we need it, but we also make sure that, hey, it's a safe space. We want to make sure it's a safe space. My job is to make sure that you're learning and you are in a safe space. So help me while I help you. We can make it work. So 2 things before we just hop on out and be over with this topic. If we're sending emails, we don't want to send a message that we would not want to say in person, or we would not want to say at all. So be mindful of that. Think about it before we actually go ahead and type. So if you don't want to do it online, or if you don't want to do it in real life, don't do it online. It's simple. Be forgiving. We need to do that, because we all make mistakes, but we can all fix them. We can all go back, apologize, and make things right and grow from them. It's okay to make mistakes, but we also need to grow from our mistakes. So we do that, we fix it, and we can move right along. And if you're sending an email, please include your name. At the end, it's fine. Include your name. We need to know who these emails are from. Yes, the email address is probably intertwined or connected to your name, but yeah, include your name. And once again, keep it safe, keep it equitastic, keep doing the amazing job that you're doing. Let's always be respectful. So I know that you got a mouthful or an earful, so this is your only assignment today. You have about 4 or 5 questions that I need you to answer. What's netiquette? Do you practice netiquette? Why do you practice netiquette? Last but not least, list 5 netiquettes. List and define 5 netiquettes that you practice or will practice. And as always, stay safe, stay equitastic, stay on task. Until next time, I'll see you next week, same place, same time, for another lesson from our expanded learning. Have a good one. Stay safe.